What's up, Buttercup? And of course, welcome to my channel. It is me, it is she, Barbie P. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to my channel. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this video. Everyone is obsessed with protein shakes. High protein, 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 protein. You need 200 grams of protein. But what if I told you, Buttercup, that protein is massively overrated? What if I told you that most people are overdoing protein and they are wasting money and they're doing the wrong thing? So let's talk about it. And of course, I'm not a doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, or Jesus. So I always recommend you seek professional help on your weight loss, fat loss journey. However, I'm just a girly that lost 107 pounds. So I just talk about tips and tricks that help me lose the weight, and hopefully it will help you out as well. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. And I just want to say, this is not a anti-protein video, a anti-misguiding extremes. I'm talking to YouTube because YouTube took down my video of overeating on healthy food because I mentioned the word PC. I'm gonna have it right here. That's the word that I said. And they were like, you are promoting bad behavior and toxic behavior. I'm like, because I called out and said you want to be control of this word. So anyway, I just want to put that out there as well. However, now I just believe that the fitness industry has made this whole protein obsession. And I'm not going to lie, I have fallen victim of the protein beast. I have fallen victim of it. And of course, with protein powders from companies, influence culture, and everything marketing like the gains, and people always think more is always better, but it isn't true. So Buttercup, if you do your research, you only need 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of lean muscle mass of protein. Hope that makes sense. So pretty much you only need 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of protein of your body mass. So if you are, let me pull out my handy dandy calculator. So let's just say if a person is 200 pounds and we're just going to say times 0.7, that means they would need 140 grams of protein for their body. So, boom, that's all you need if you're 200 pounds. Now, if you're 300 pounds, you don't need to worry about protein, honestly. You just need to lose the weight. And hey, I can say that because I've been there. So that's why I do feel like protein is overrated, because everyone stresses out how much protein that you need, but when you are in a bigger body, yes, you're going to still need protein, but you're going to need to really cut the fat. And if you are 300 pounds, do the calculations, times 0.7, and that's at the low end of the scale. 0.7, that's 210 grams of protein. And if your calorie deficit is like 1,800, you can still get it, but you're going to be literally just eating tuna and chicken breast and Greek yogurt and shrimp all day, every day. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. But if you just kind of want more of a variety, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that's what happened with me and just certain points of my weight loss journey. Just eating the same foods is great for your body because that's going to help you digest and all that type of stuff. But it got to a point when I was focusing so much on protein, I felt like I could not enjoy just having a regular cookie, not a protein cookie. I mean, if it's a protein cookie, okay. But like, hey, there are sometimes I just want a cookie. There are sometimes I just want the Dream Cone from Chick-fil-A. I don't want to worry about protein. It's about having a balance. And that's one thing. Quick story time. I had to get rid of my nutritionist. If you know, you know. I'll do a whole video on that like another day. But anyway, she was just trying to tell me to eat 180 grams of protein. And at the time, I was 200 and kind of like 4-ish pounds. And she had me eating like 180 grams of protein, of lean protein. No. I think she just said 180 grams of protein. And I had 2,025 calories that I could eat every day. And that was great, because if you know, then you know at one point in time your girl was eating 1,200 calories, doing 14,000 steps a day, and training 6 times a week at an athlete level. So I was hungry. I was glad to get that 2,025 calories. I was glad. But after 3 to 4-ish weeks and my body reset it and it was great, I lost a couple of pounds. I was like, I'm tired of eating this much. I'm tired of trying to eat so much protein. And I believe I was getting bigger. Like, I was getting muscly, but I wasn't dropping body fat. And you know how people say skinny fat? I mean, I still have like the fat, but for me, I was just like, it's great that we're gaining muscle, but I want to see this fat come off first, or like, you know, the whole body recomp. I'm like, look, I want to see the fat go. I'm ready for it to go. It's great that we're building muscle, but we got the fat still on top of the muscle. So yeah. And then, pretty much to make a long story short, once I stopped focusing so much on the protein goal and just was not saying eating what I wanted. Well, no, eating what I wanted. And I really started discovering my habits and how I eat on a daily. Yeah, I started dropping weight faster. I started dropping belly fat faster because I wasn't super concerned about hitting a protein goal. And I found out when I would just do it on my own, I would naturally hit 150 to 180 grams of protein without eating 2,025 calories a day. So anyway, that's why I'm just saying, like, sometimes protein, I feel it is overrated. And I do feel that we are consuming way too much protein. And of course, another thing, this might be a little taboo. Like I said, of course, always consult a doctor, nutritionist, and all of that. But I believe your protein goal should be whatever your goal weight is, because you got to think about it. If you are trying to be a smaller body, not saying you have to quote unquote eat less, because sometimes you can still eat more by eating less, which is just, you know, high volume. So I have a video on that. And I believe, like, when you're eating too much protein, it's wasted calories. Because you got to think about it. If you are just the average everyday person, and let's just say you're not even working out, so you're not even using this protein to help, you know, build muscle and fuel your workouts. And, you know, you're not even using it. You're just overeating on protein. Like, yeah, it's great, but you're not using it correctly. So it's wasted calories. Protein still has calories. And you're missing out on your carbs, your fats, your micronutrients, and your fiber. Oh my gosh, when I was eating that much protein, like when she had me eating very high amounts of protein, and it's like she also wanted me to eat 2,025 calories every day. So there were times where I was going over the protein goal. So I was hitting like 210 grams of protein a day because she did not want me to be under 50 calories short of my goal. So if mine was 2,025 calories, so I could not eat no less than 1975. So I was eating a lot. And I was just so backed up because what I realized was I naturally fell between 15 to 1,800 calories. And then there were some days I might eat 22 or 2,400 calories. But because throughout the week I've eaten less, I'll naturally eat just a little bit more on like other days, but it's still balanced out in my calorie deficit. It's weird. Like I said, I'm gonna have a video on, you know, understanding your eating habits and stuff like that. That's coming real soon. But yes, I was so backed up, y'all, buttercup. Buttercup, I was so backed up. Digestion was terrible. And like I said, I was focusing so much on protein that I did not focus on the fiber. I mean, she still had me on my carbs and all of that kind of stuff as well. But it was just like she was going hard on the protein. And that's just what really inspired this video. I was like, girl was going in on me with that protein. But yeah, you're missing out on other, food groups. You're missing out on your fiber. You have uncomfortable digestion. And then it's unnecessary spending on supplements because it's like, oh, I need protein powder. I need protein. When really you might just need one serving of chicken breast, a serving of tuna, and maybe like a couple of eggs. And then the rest of your day, you can choose what you want to eat. Like, it's that simple, Buttercup. It is that simple. And I remember I used to be so frustrated, especially when I had the big back mindset, because there was a part in the video, of course, I made a video on it, but there was a part in the video where I talked about how you're just misinformed, and you're listening to all these people, and it's like you're just hearing everything about protein, and you're doing so much, but you're just misinformed. So it was just something that I really, just had to learn. That was pretty much it. So what actually matters more than protein is having just an overall calorie balance. You just want balance. Like, still get your protein in and get that chocolate chip chunk cookie. Like, still get it. And then go for your cute walk. Your pretty and healthy girl walk. Have you a cup of tea. Like, don't make your weight loss, fat loss journey so, you got to enjoy this thing. You have to romanticize it. You have to make it according to you and how you're going to stick to it. Because that was something I had to learn as well, because I'm watching all the girlies and trying to do what they're doing. Like I said, I'm getting backed up. I can't poo. And even with like detox teas, I was still backed up because I was just eating way too much protein. And then of course you got to focus on the food quality, because now everyone is talking about protein so much. They're making protein bars and protein cookies and just a whole bunch of protein stuff. But when you look at the ingredients, it has like 60 ingredients. Like, what is like, what is that? Like, have you ever looked at the back of a protein bar and researched what the ingredients are? You would be shocked. I warned you. You have been warned. So yes. And just consistency over macro obsessions. So, of course, consistency over obsessing over your macros. Because yes, and I get it. Once you become like a gym rat and you have more of an understanding, then yes, you can up your protein more. Yes, you might be low body fat. So now we can actually see the muscles that you're building with the protein. So, that's different. But in the beginning phases of your journey, I feel like protein is overrated. It's overrated. Because again, you got to learn your eating habits. You have to learn your triggers. Like, there's so much stuff you have to unlearn that protein is the least of your worries. The least. As long as you have overall good food quality, you're in your calorie deficit, and you're moving your body, that is really all that matters. And who really needs a high protein diet? Competitive athletes, professional bodybuilders, and contest prep. Those are the only people that really need super, super high protein. Most people, average people, the girly that's going to the gym, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, yeah, you don't need a whole bunch of protein to get the gains that you need. Because most of the time, once you get the fat off, you're already looking good, and then you're just building the muscle that you already have. So on your journey, you are building, if you're, doing your resistance training 3 to 4 times a week, you're already building muscle. We just can't see all of it yet because there's still fat up there. So once you get the fat off, you're going to actually see the muscle you've been building the whole time, sis. You are. But anyway, I just want to say protein is very important, but not at all the cost of everything. Stop the panic and start eating balance. Being balanced. That is it. that is all. Wraps up my video. I believe protein is overrated in some cases. And tell me your thoughts. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And until next time, Buttercup, bye. And then just for a throwback, mind your business and tend to your own business. Mind and tend to the business that pays you. And if it does not pay you, boo, then you definitely need to be minding your own business. Bye.